Tirreno Adriatico and a hatful of top fours. Second in Milano Torino, the one day. Third in Zulia, Basque Country. Top 10 in Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Fifth overall in the Tour Auvergne Alpes, of course, the newly named Dauphiné. And has had a 6th and a 5th place on stages here at the Tour de France. He's had a consistently strong season, and he is a very, very dangerous rider indeed. Hoping they'd be given a bit more leeway, and they haven't. It's been holding steady at 1 minute and 26 seconds now, but he certainly put himself in pole position to try something, but still with 70 k's to go, it's going to be a big, big ask, and we do not know what's going to happen. We were postulating earlier on whether there was the remotest chance, the fact that it's entered into our thinking that UAE Team Emirates might want to keep this together. Well, we've seen them do this in the past and then just sit up and then just let it go out. There's no evidence of that so far, but what we do have, John, is an exceptionally strong move, and right now it's just about building that lead on the bit of terrain before the next climb. We won't see these riders attacking each other. It might be a different story when we get to the next climb, though.
Yeah, possibly, as we see neutral service feeding these riders. So going back to what we were talking a little bit earlier, no team cars still haven't made it across to this group. So the riders are on their own, essentially. Yep. Neutral service. There is a feed zone coming up with 67 kilometers to go within 2K. So it'll be key for these riders to get ice from the side of the road. They'll all be trying to take musettes with water, ice, and food. But a really strong breakaway here. 8 quality bike riders. And when you have 8 quality bike riders like this, it's going to be a great race if it goes between these 8. But at the moment, UAE Team Emirates XRG, they're not allowing anything to go too far.
Tom Pidcock adjusting his radio. He's been very active today, turning the screw on one of the earlier climbs and ultimately infiltrating this break, but they are not being given too much leeway at all. And look like, as John was just saying, there's no team cars up looking round for that service, and a lot of these riders will have a particular drink mix that they want as well, John. It's you know, it's not easy, is it? I mean, luckily we do have that feed zone coming up shortly, but not great at all, because it's in these sorts of conditions, once you do get to a certain point, it's hard to actually replenish things once you go beyond a certain point. So it's critical that they get what they need as soon as possible.
Yeah, and obviously neutral service only supply water, no carbohydrate drinks. Yeah, obviously every team has their own sponsors. So it's a really difficult one. You want to get to the feed zone, and of course the feed zones are great. There's musettes there, but it's not a guarantee that you'll be able to get your musette or get your bottles. See, it's the Shimano car dropping off the water.
Yeah. Well, luckily the feed zone is coming up. Well, I'm going to go and get my own feed zone now, and I'll grab a little bit of lunch, and I will pass you back over to John Harris-Bass to take you through this next rather grippy portion of the stage. Cheers, John.
Thanks, Matt. As we see Baudin back at the car now. Ice, water and carb mix for Baudin. Just handing everything over. Ice down the back. Tom Southam, really experienced DS, the EF Education Easy Post, brings Baudin fed and watered, and the young Frenchman makes his way back to that leading group of 8.
Look of real anguish on the left-hand side there of riders just being. And it hasn't disappointed on that front.
No, it really hasn't. We just heard from Tobias Halland Johannesson as well. It's amazing. when you see the race situation that we can see on our screens now with 67 kilometers to go, but in that interview, he pretty much says exactly what has happened. He was looking for that breakaway, maybe try and get in a move, and he said Mathieu van der Poel is going to be one of the riders who is going to be there. So this is when it's shown it's done on pure strength, on brute strength and form at this point. It's not a lucky descent to get lucky breakaway to get into.
No luck at all. So there are 8 riders involved in the breakaway. They have 1 minute and 17 seconds. They are Tobias Hallen-Johansson, Tom Pidcock, Leonard van Etveld, Pablo Castillo, Alex Baudin, Quinn Simmons, Derek G. West and Mathieu van der Poel. And riders who were involved earlier on today, including Hershey and Costiu, are just starting to be enveloped back in by the main peloton. As things currently sit, John, are you looking at it going, this is... UAE are looking for a stage win?
Yeah, yes. The only thing that makes sense to me is why they keep this gap so close. Yeah, it has to be. There's no one really there from general classification that they in my opinion, would be worrying about. You know, Johannesson and Pidcock just shy of 10 minutes down on GC. So yeah, if you allow them to go to 7 minutes on GC, it doesn't have too much bearing on the overall. So I would say, yeah, maybe they're keen and they're looking for trying to take stage victory with either Pogacar or even Del Toro.
Quinn Simmons was a very popular selection by our team on site. Movistar, of course, a lean few years in the Tour de France. It's a long time since they've had a stage victory, so they've chanced their arm with Pablo Castillo.
Bit of an outsider, not one you really talk about. He really struggled on that second category climb, but made it into this group of 8. But the current Spanish time trial champion, so he's definitely in good shape. He's a rider that we might see later on making some of those attacks. He's not going to win from a sprint, so he might try and use that time trialing ability, maybe a late attack, if this breakaway can go all the way.
But at the moment, this breakaway is losing time. We've seen 10 seconds shaved off the advantage just in a matter of 5 kilometres. UAE really pushing things hard at the front of the peloton in pursuit. And that is going to have a marked effect on the whole peloton, John. Just the fatigue that these riders are going to experience going into that first rest day due to the heat that they've been subjected to out on the road. The 3rd day in a row of a red warning issued in France. But do you think that we're going to see a different sort of fatigue coming out of that first rest day than we have done in recent Tour de France due to this heat?
Yes and no. I think after that first rest day, to be honest, after 9 days of racing, everyone normally is raring to go for a rest day, but you just never know how riders recover, especially on the rest day. And you're right, with the heat, maybe it has taken that little bit more off the top of that top end, and those first few days after the rest day are always difficult. You never know how your body's really going to react.
Let's go and hear from Anders out on the course.
It's boiling hot at the top of the Côte de la Croix de Pays. Maybe you can sense it behind me. The fans are hiding in the shadow at the moment. The climb itself is completely different compared to the one we just did before. The terrain changes